Right. This should, if I'm doing things correctly, be the last time, fingers crossed, that we end up doing the Stanley Parable. This should be the last episode.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
So,
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
what we've got on the
decided to go
agenda.
up to his coming to a staircase,
Number
Stanley
one,
walked upstairs to his
we are
boss's
going
office.
to do all the inputs. And one of them is here. We can also do another thing while
Stepping
we're
into
here.
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
I really miss the bucket. The bucket would love this.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So supposedly, there might be something different happen if we jump off into the mind control facility, if we just like leap off. I don't know if we need the bucket for it. There might be a different ending with or without the bucket, so we'll give it a go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I'm not sure we can actually drop off the side here. Squeeze? No.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I think that we can't jump off here.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
That one of them
Wasn't it?
says fired.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad.
Right, we're going to try and start again then.
All of his co-workers were
There
gone.
should now.
What could it mean?
There we go.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, input received. Right, good. There we go. Oh. And now. Oh.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky.
Yeah, that sounds
Well,
about
now,
right.
I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Well, oh wait, it's time. Ooh. We've died and gone to heaven. Oh, that's trippy. That is very, very trippy. Have we nearly done a full go? I think we might have. I think we've got a go done, nearly. Or not. Oh, they come back on after a while. No! It's not heaven, it's hell! Ah! There's buttons everywhere. Right, I think we're probably going to call it there then. If I start giving everyone epilepsy by circling around. But I think that is more or less
Just
it.
a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the
I thought
countless
a bucket
wars
were
it
going to turn
witnessed,
into something then.
desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger. of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and
The
the
Bucket
bittersweet
Crusader.
reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as
Oh.
payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could
That
not conceive
name
the ramifications of...
Is the one we heard in the tape recording.
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart
finally.
the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket,
Finally.
nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Got rid of the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
And I think the only thing that's left now is to finally quit the game. And by quit, I mean quit and restart it. I think this might be... I think it's possibly the last one that we've got to do. You know what? Let's do that. There. I couldn't. Now curious how accurate it is. Well, we're accurate when I entered it. It's now 50. Yeah, it's now 10 to, so... Can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Yeah, perhaps I can invent some new ones to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Let me whip a couple new ones up now. Should be ready the next time you boot up the game. So let's restart. And let it sync first. And we should have... It'll be a bit of a shorter episode. Please adjust the slider until your computer is barely visible. Writing it up because the YouTube's compression algorithm hates the world. Please adjust the slider until they are friends. I mean, that is technically the number 9, IX, isn't it? That's 9. 9. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtush. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. The slider has nothing on it. Clearly no one touched it. Yes. Is the time that is the right now the correct time? Sure. What is time anyway? Yes. Time. Yes. Probably. Help? No, I'm good. Oh, they're asking if I will help them. Or are they asking for assistance? I'm confused. I think this is the last time, though. If I'm correct. And there should just be... What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. It's like we're strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game's settings to exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learnt about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again if you can find me. Talk soon. And there it is. The epilogue. The final ending of the deluxe edition. The true ending. Dun dun dun. In a galaxy far, far away. So this is after we've pressed the skip button, I take it, and wandered through the desert. Soon we'll change our name to Max and drive around through the desert using our office tie as a headband and fighting off bandits in order to obtain water and fuel while eating old potted beans, well, old tinned beans and so on. Because in the post-apocalypse, there's nothing left but the office chairs. The swivelly office chairs. travelling day and night for many years. We finally arrive at our destination, which is oh, old house? Is it the memory house? Or is it just an old attic? It's got a generator hooked up, so that's good. It's the memory house. Oh god, it's like the Stanley Parable 2 now. I do wonder if this is actually going to be classified as the sequel, given that it kind of has it on the front titles and yeah. Still got that review up, hasn't it? The one which made him make the skip button. No more spin-offs or sequels. When it launched to massive success in 2013, the creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise, but disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions. As outlined in a press release they published today, it's clear that it was just not what the fans want. We thought we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, but it turns this could not have been further from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insultive creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Ooh. So without our guidance to tell them it was crap, they went and made the sequel.
Jim.
With the gym button. And the jump circle. The horror. It probably had DLC for the reassurance bucket, which was the best part. Oh my god, I've got even more of them now. Hello. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developers said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground and drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed about what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard, in fact. Let me show you. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number on the game's title screen. We also really need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Something... Go ahead, try combining random words together to make a new title. Stanley Parable 3 and the... Can we do the Revenge of the Bucket? So we put one on the left and one on the right. So we could do Dealing with the Printer Jam. Interesting. Return to Hole. Attack on sequel. The Revenge of the Sequel. Okay, that's a good one. I was thinking dealing with the printer jam just because it's so mundane and stupid. But the Revenge of the Sequel. Like openly acknowledging that the second one was terrible and now it's back to haunt your nightmares. Okay, lovely. Sounds like an EA game. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again, and again, and again, with a new title screen. It's like FIFA. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Let's do it. A new sequel every time you start. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I've noticed the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever, because this is the end, is the end, is the end, is the end. And we're now at 7:03. And I think that's just about going to do it. And it has actually ended up being about a half-hour episode, so not too bad in length. I think that's just about it. There might be like a few odds and ends, little secret bits and bobs that are left in there, but I think I can go and get some achievements. I've not gone and collected them. I'm not gonna bother. I think we've seen like the lion's share of it all. Go and watch guides, I guess, if you want to see every single nook and cranny, but I think that is all of the endings. At least all the major ones. They might be like, I don't know. I'd have to go and check the flowchart again that I found, but I think that's more or less all of it. Thank you very much for watching. It's been quite fun. Bit of a trip down memory lane, literally, because of that building in the game. Funny thinking it was 9 years ago now, this. Right. But I will see you in future videos on the channel. This will be basically the stopping point for the Stanley Parable, because there's nothing left. Unless we want to play, the Stanley Parable 3 here, and then Stanley Parable 4 and 5 and 6, and just keep restarting the game until we go mad. But I think we'd rather not. Right. Thank you very much for watching. And this time, it really is the end. I'll see you in the next video.